Welcome, trombone friends of the 9th and 10th grade. This is Dr. Jeff Phillips. I'm the trombone professor at Belmont University, and this is my 2022, that's what it is, edition of How to Play the Mid-State Trombone Excerpts. Now, one very, very important thing for you to make sure that you check on, and you need to know that all of the excerpts have changed since last few years. This year they were all composed specifically for these auditions for the NTSBOA. So if one of the older students, or perhaps your director at the end of the year, gave you music and said, this is what it's been the last few years in the rotation, so go ahead and practice this and you'll get a jump on everybody else. Not that you should never play that piece of music again, but that's not it, okay? So make sure you've got the new excerpts that were released toward the end of August, and they are not the same as the old ones. So make sure you don't show up with the wrong music, or you'll be sight reading a lot that day. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is the 9th and 10th grade technical excerpt. If you will take a look at the key signature, one of the first things that you probably need to do is review your A flat major scale. Right? So great. You might want to go up just because you need to. I'm really glad I didn't clip that note. Okay, so even though this particular excerpt doesn't go up to that A flat, be good to go ahead and learn that. Check out the scale video that will also be out this year. I know you know how to play scales, well I hope you do, but just some helpful hints on those and little thought process things, okay? So anyway, so you're going to watch out for your D flats throughout here. As I look through it, there's a couple of little spots down there that are chromatic in the last couple of measures. So let's take a look at those first. Actually, no. I'm going to just try to play it all the way through. Then we'll go back and repair the damage. So here it is. Wish me luck. Oh. Okay. Okay, well, wasn't too awful. So let's look at a lot of little things. Again, it's not just so you can say, well, here's how it goes. I want to point out some things to look at as you begin practicing it. Okay, so all of these excerpts in every grade are very explicitly marked with articulations and dynamics. I tried to get as many of those in there as I could and did a reasonable job. I'm not going to go back and listen to it right now, but and don't anybody send me comments, okay? Don't want to hear it. But yeah, that's something that would be very important on your evaluation sheets. Articulation, technique, that is a specific category. So they'll be evaluating your performance based on whether you played all the notes the same way, if you slurred correctly. So that's one of the things we're going to look at here. So opening, you've got a dotted 8/16. Practice this slowly at first, going play 3/16 on the A flat. Don't do that for performance, but just for you, so you put that note in exactly the right spot. And we don't get sort of a triplety feel in there, okay? And we get that B flat exactly on the last 16th of the beat. All right, so now we've got those first three notes also that are slurred. So B flat to C could be a natural slur. Okay. For more helpful hints on slurring, check out my slurring video on www.jeffphillipstrombone.com. That's it. Yeah, check that out. I've got a whole little mini video there on how to slur different types. So check that out for more information. So I have to legato tongue to the B flat, and then natural slur here. And that will set you up to articulate the E flat. Okay, make sure common error for people is to put one more note under a slur. Not just trombone players, but everything players. So make sure we separate that little E flat on the end of beat 1. And then rhythm-wise, here's another little spot that these rhythms with the 8/16, 8, these little syncopated rhythms through here and then the next line will probably be misplayed all throughout the day. I hope not, but not if you listen to this video. So you have 16th, 8th, 16th, D flat, C, B flat. Natural slur, D flat to C, D flat, not D. For accuracy, another place to practice going. Can I do this? Think that while you play. Okay, so you get those 16ths in exactly the right spot. So you could play from the beginning for rhythm. This is an exercise so that you're going to be rhythmically solid. All right. Natural slur on beat 3. Natural slur there. Okay. Then on to the next measure. 4/16. Tongue slur, staccato dots. Don't think of them as short. Think of them as light. And think the syllables di-da da da da. Okay. You've got a natural slur which will kind of pop that G there. And then natural slur to the A flat, legato tongue to G. Okay. And it's kind of natural to just sort of crescendo on that line. I think that would be fine. Throw that out there. And then F, G, natural slur, and a 1 to the A flat. I don't like that. Yeah, here's a little hint, because the thing I said I didn't like is in that passage, I played my A flat the first time there a little bit too high. So make sure your interval from the G to the A flat, that half step, 4th to 3rd position, is accurate, and in the process of moving your slide, you don't come up too far. What do you mean? I mean, okay, that it doesn't get up a little bit high. I don't think mine was quite that high, but it just wasn't where it's supposed to be. All right, moving on. All right, another dotted 8/16. Natural slur, C to D flat. Legato tongue, C to D flat. Natural slur, D flat to E flat. There's a lot of stuff that you could mark these if you want to, but just go through things slowly. All right, the next stuff is just going to boggle people's minds, okay? One of the most misplayed rhythms in the entire world. Okay, so a quarter note triplet. And I'm going to write this out right here in front of you. So, you have 8th note triplets. Da 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 da. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. Alright? 2 8th notes tied together is what? Right, a quarter note. If I take that and I tie those, or 2 8th notes together and put them in pairs like that, that's a quarter note triplet. And I point that out because I was taught a really goofy way. I was taught to say triplette, which makes you play ba ba ba, and that is not they're not even. So beware of that rhythm. It's going to probably be played in all sorts of variations. So a good thing to maybe practice it would be. Okay, so maybe think about that rhythm that I wrote, and maybe make a little exercise there and on the next measure, just so you can get that sound in your head. All right, so. I like the second one, didn't like the first one. Okay, so even those out. Dee, bum, 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 bum. Okay. As far as the slurs go, you've got natural slurs. Yay! And then articulate the B flat on beat 3. Natural slur. Then D flat. You have to articulate there. And then you've got D flat, B flat, G. You got a natural slur from D flat to B flat, but you need to articulate the G. Unless you're weird and played those in 5th, 5th, and 4th. Could be done. Just because you can do things doesn't necessarily mean you should. All right, so going on into the next measure. You've got a natural slur from the B flat to E flat. It might be a little tricky to make that jump because of the interval. If you have to lightly articulate it because of the shortness of the note, just make sure it doesn't sound like it's separated from the curve. Okay, so you want those 3 notes to all be under one smooth. Okay, so just make sure you don't go and smack that note. Okay, so the next measure, first thing to do is play it without any of the ties. Okay, so can I do that without the ties? So you get that in there. If you want to take it to the next step and put 2/16 on every 8th, oh, this could be fun. Might be kind of neat to do that, just for rhythmic accuracy. So without the ties, 1E, a 2E, a 3E, a 1. Da 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 da. Then with the ties, bum 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 bum. So nothing's on the beat in that measure except the first note. So rhythmically, that one might take a little bit of working out. It is a little tricky, especially following the quarter note triplets. Kind of messes with your head. Tendency will be to play those 2 rhythms kind of the same, and they are not. So one's based off of a division of 3 on a beat, the other's 4. So your guys behind the cardboard that are listening to you will be kind of listening for that precision. You've got a forte piano there. I think when I played this through a minute ago, personally I could have made a little bit more distinction there on the piano part of that. Also, it's a forte piano, which is dynamic marking. It doesn't say sforzando piano, so you don't have to just and explode on there. Okay, so just hit it, get softer, which prepares you for the next thing, which you're going to start a crescendo again. But it's not a huge crescendo, just make it comfortable though. Okay, nobody's sitting back there, at least they better not be, or I'm going to come after them, with a decibel meter going, oops, you played 94, that that's not really a mezzo piano. They don't do that. Okay, it's all relative to what you've played as far as dynamics. If you play this soft and the next thing's supposed to be loud, is there a difference that we can hear? That's the main thing. All right. So dotted 8/16 again, coming off the quarter note triplet part, coming off the syncopated part in measure 6. This could be tricky. So again, practice it going. Right? So that you put those 16ths exactly where they need to be. All right? You change articulation for beat 3. Tongue, 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 slur, slur. So that's a little tricky there too. Work it out slowly and be fine. The last line, measure 9, C and D flat. Do, 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 do. Light articulation there, legato. Mezzo piano. Make sure they're even. Da, 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 do, 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 do. And you don't get one note longer. No weird stuff there. All right, and and they have to be articulated. Please don't force a judge to hear. No. All right, and then 16ths on the and of the next 2 beats. Right? So I would personally make those 8ths on beat 2 and 3 with a kind of light do 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 dee da da dee da da da, just for separation and clarity. Then you've got these little chromatic things I was mentioning earlier. Why do they make us play a chromatic scale? So you can play things like that accurately. Dee da da da. Listen to those half steps. Okay? And if you're confused with what I just played, you start with an A flat, then you go to an A, not the same note, then a B flat, then a C flat, also known as B natural in some countries, but not in this excerpt. And then you have a C, and then a D flat. So every note in a different position. If you find yourself playing any things in that measure in the same position, you're wrong. Okay. And then the last, next to last measure, you got the G. Easy to get that sloppy. So make sure that your slide is in the right spot. Listen how I say this. It's in the right spot as you articulate going up chromatically. But we don't need slide technique video on www.jeffphillipstrombone.com. Check that out. Okay, so you don't want that. Also, a slight ritardando. And just a nice, good sound there on that last note. It says fortissimo. By God, I'm going to play fortissimo. Please don't hurt people, okay? Use a little taste. All right, so that's a lot. That technical excerpt's got a lot of stuff in it, a lot of little picky details. Go slowly here at the beginning while you learn this. And even as you get a little closer, go back and make yourself play it slowly for accuracy. And happy auditioning. The other excerpt will be on a different video. Bye. Check it out.